Welcome to the Objective Football Banter Show, where we'll be discussing football and all football related topics, but with some banter. I'm your host, Twizy, that's T to the WWEZY, and on this show, we'll be talking football from various football leagues across Europe, but with special emphasis on the Premier League, but with some banter. Before I go on, I'd like to ask you guys to like, comment, and of course, subscribe to this channel so you can help us grow. Let's kick it. Right, so on this first episode, we are going to be talking about the events that played out on the last game week of the Premier League that happened yesterday. And boy, it was dramatic. The relegation battle was down to the wire. The title was decided on also on the final game. And the top four slots was decided also on the final day, of the season. Although I personally think that, it had already been decided when Arsenal decided, of course, to throw away 3 points at Newcastle. But let's just keep that on the side. Burnley were relegated. Yes, relegated. They've been playing satanic football for years, so it had been coming really. I think that sacking Sean Dyche wasn't cool. But, they had to just go. They had been playing really, really bad football in the last couple of years and just creeping through it. And they managed to survive. But this year was just not their year. Perhaps if they had kept Sean Dyche, on the job, maybe we'll have found a way to keep them in. But sending him away, I think just took away the energy from the club. And now they are going back after 6 years. They won't really be missed because their tactics of football are really, really annoying and boring and borderline satanic. So, goodbye, Burnley. Hopefully, we don't see you for another 1 or 2 seasons because honestly, the negative tactics was exhausting. We move on to Norwich. What can I say about Norwich? Naturally, they were expected to be relegated. Nobody gave them a chance when they came. And of course, they lived up to expectation. They got relegated. Considered the most goals in the league, they were just poor. Things were not just working, and I don't know why. Perhaps maybe because they sold Buendia and Pukki couldn't get service anymore, so things just became really difficult for them. I think they still have Todd Cantwell, and I think with Pukki and Todd Cantwell, they should still be able to mount a challenge to come back next season. Although personally, I would not want them to come also next season. They've had enough run. They will come, they will go back, they will come, they will go back. They never stay. I don't like that kind of stuff. It's just like, somebody who just comes, hurts your feelings, or gives you hope that things are going to be better, and then they just disappear, only to come back again. I think they should go spend like 2-3 years in the championship so they can take their time. And of course, realize that when we next to come to the Premier League, we won't take it for granted. As for Watford, well, I think their story is similar to Norwich in some ways, in that a lot of people sort of expected them to get relegated, and again they also lived up to expectation. Changed managers, I think 3 times. Things were not just working. They brought Ranieri in, they brought Roy Hodgson in. I think before Ranieri there was also another manager, and they kept leaking goals, they kept conceding goals. The notable result, of course, would be the 4-1 victory over Manchester United, though no one saw that coming. Perhaps maybe except Manchester United players themselves. But no one really saw that coming. They beat Manchester United blue-black, and I think they're going to be savoring that victory for a long time. They'll savor it in the championship, though. That's what it is. The top four was decided yesterday. Personally, I think it was decided 2 weeks ago when my darling club, Arsenal, the club that I love most in the whole world and I also hate most in the entire universe, second only to Tottenham, decided to throw away 3 points against Newcastle. You need to see the way they played that day. They played like Newcastle were trying to get in the Champions League, and Arsenal had already secured their survival in the Premier League, so they didn't need to work hard. It was a travesty, a serious travesty. But it is what it is. They lost the top 4, and yesterday Norwich faced Tottenham. Arsenal needed a win against Everton and hoped that results would go against Tottenham versus Norwich. Of course, nobody expected results to go against Tottenham. It's Norwich, for crying out loud. Well, so as expected, Norwich lost by 5-0. Even though everybody was expecting them to put up a fight, they couldn't put up a fight. They rolled over for Norwich, got spanked. They rolled over for Tottenham, got spanked 5-0, and then Arsenal did their job by beating Everton 5-1, but it wasn't enough to get them promoted. So top four decided. Manchester United ended up in the Europa League because West Ham failed to take the chance to beat Brighton. Brighton beat West Ham by 3-1. So Manchester United, were spared their blushes because West Ham didn't turn up. Imagine if West Ham had managed to sneak, a victory, snatch away a victory at Brighton. Manchester United and their new manager Erik ten Hag will have actually played in the Conference League next season. They will have Brighton to thank for that, which is funny because Brighton spanked them 4-0 last week. Well, it was all that, and then West Ham, I think those ones became very tired. They played football, so much football this season, and they really struggled physically. So they really ran out of steam, and of course ended up in the Conference League, which isn't really bad considering where they were coming from and where they were when David Moyes took the job. I think they were even battling relegation when Moyes took the job. But now, they played in the Europa League semi-finals. They ended up in the top 7 teams this year. They really worked hard, although I think it stretched them physically. But I think they've not gotten used to being top 7 teams yet. Leicester tried it about 2-3 years ago, and they've gone back to their natural default settings. Hopefully, West Ham is not going to end up that way as well. But it is what it is. Kudos to them, though. But they really, really, I don't feel here or there about, West Ham. I really don't. And I really don't feel any way about any other team, really, except Arsenal. Oh, they broke my heart. Well, the thing is, you have the Premier League title decided yesterday in dramatic fashion, really dramatic circumstances. Steven Gerrard, Stevie G, Stevie G, Liverpool fans were expecting the guy to go to the Etihad, and work miracles for them so they could beat Wolverhampton and pick up the title. And guess what? It started out brightly. Stevie G was leading 2-0 even up to the 75th minute. Everybody thought it was over. But Manchester City, in Manchester City fashion, came back from the dead, scored 1, 2, and 3 goals in space of 6 minutes to snatch the title from Liverpool. Must have been really gut-wrenching for Liverpool. But the fact of the matter is, there are levels. Liverpool have to just accept that there are levels. Liverpool are a very good football team, world-class players, excellent football, fast on the break, excellent attacking transition, and all that. But Man City are just a level higher. I know that they're a very good team, but really, really, in this era of Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, Liverpool have to hold that one title they've had in 30 years, I'm afraid. That's all they are going to hold for now. As long as Guardiola is in the Premier League, I sort of just get the feeling that things will just never change for Liverpool as long as Guardiola is there. Klopp has tried his best. He wants everything. He wants to win everything. He tried to win a quadruple, but this is the Premier League, bro. This is the Premier League, bro. Things don't just fall on your laps that way. You have to work hard for it. And we've seen in this league that even working hard sometimes doesn't mean that you are going to get what you deserve. Because when you work very hard, the devil works harder. In this case, the Premier League officiating sometimes works harder than you. You think about the result against Everton away, Manchester City away to Everton, when Rodri handled the ball in the box, and you felt like Everton deserved the penalty, but the referee didn't. And they ran away with that match by 1-0. And looking back now, considering that Liverpool lost the league by just a solitary point, people will be forced to look back at that officiating and think that was really bad officiating. This is just what the Premier League is, really. You work very hard, you play good football, but sometimes the referee just works harder to take all the glory and plaudits away from you. Because those guys sometimes also want to be on the back pages of the newspapers on Monday morning. I don't know why. I don't know why anybody wants to be on the back pages of the newspaper on Monday morning for something negative. But it is what it is, though. So that's what it is. Manchester City are Premier League champions 2021-2022 season. And before they did that, they managed to sign Haaland from Dortmund. good God, Lord knows what is going to happen next year. He was even saying in the post-match conference that since, post-match press conference, I think in the post-match press conference, or when he was having an interview on the pitch during celebrations with Gary Neville and them, he was talking about how really genius is going to appear next season when they start using 5 substitutes, that things are really going to get wild from next season. So just look at it, just imagine how the Premier League is going to really become very competitive from next season. 5 substitutes. Everyone who doesn't have strong squad or a good squad depth, are really going to struggle. But you never say never. You never know what's going to happen. So the Premier League is always unpredictable. So let's see what plays out. This is the Premier League, bro. Well, I think that the season has had its highs and lows for my darling club. Things, didn't come out the way they planned it to be, especially in the area of qualifying for the UEFA Champions League. They were very close. They had it in their grasp and they threw it away. On more than 2-3 occasions, you think that they should have wrapped up the UCL qualifications, but they screwed it up. And I think they have no one to blame but themselves, really. Arteta was naive to not take advantage of the January window. Conte took advantage of the January window, and the result was clear to see. Arteta's players were tired, physically not up to scratch by game week 35. Tottenham players looked refreshed and strong because they added 2 good players to their attacking lineup and to their midfield, and it made all the difference. So let's see what happens. Who knows? Arteta may decide to take advantage of the window next week, next season, and let's see what happens next season with the players that he buys. All right, that's it from me. TW to the WEZY and the Objective Football Banter Show. Remember to like, comment, and of course subscribe to our channel to help you grow. See you next time. Bye bye.